going to kick Sephiroth's ass. What's up, this is my Archvice of Chaos. This is your King of the Night, VincentValentine EX Turk, and, well, I'm going to be talking about a strong subject because I really want the views. I really want the views, whether you hate me or love me or whatever. I could be using some extra views, especially since I'm taking a hiatus off of Twitch right now, so I won't be streaming for at least a couple of days, so I could use the views. Now, again, this is another controversial video, so if you're not in this to watch this or you get triggered or offended, we'll give you 5 seconds. There it goes. Now we're going to get to the video. Let's talk about gun control. Now, this is a very controversial subject, especially for my personal views. I'll start with my personal views. I think the only type of guns anyone should be able to own is just no more than a shotgun. A handgun and a shotgun, and just, what you see at a Walmart is pretty much what you should be able to own. Now, under the conditions, though, I don't think you should own a gun if your therapist says you have psychotic, if you have the tendency to be psychotic. If you're mentally ill, then if your therapist says you're mentally ill, then they should refuse gun sales to you. But as well as if you're a felony. Now, misdemeanor, that's a gray area, because anything could be a misdemeanor. Let's just be quite honest, there's two sides of every story. So, with with all of this, I think, the only gun control we should be able to, enact is to keep felonies from owning a gun, and to keep the mentally ill from owning a gun, which I think is a good idea, Now, not to say that, there isn't going to be no, shootings later by crazy people. I mean, there's people that are angry and stuff like that. But again, I think it'd be prevented if we keep the guns out of mentally unstable and keep the guns out of felonies. Now they'll find a way to it. But, this will at least slow de-accelerate the process. So with that, I think that's where we need to stop right there. The other thing I really personally believe in is that no more than what you find at Walmart. You cannot have a military issue gun at all unless you're part of the military, which makes sense because, well, those are the weapons that keep killing all these people. I just keep it to hunting shotguns, hunting rifles, and handguns, stuff that's used on the daily basis. If you don't see it at a Walmart, then you shouldn't have it. Now, granted, I think they should be able to pull up your background, and when they pull up your background and see that you have a felony or you have mental illness, then they should be able to refuse a gun sale just based off of that stuff. That's just my personal views on the thing. And no more than just what you see at a Walmart. Shotguns, handguns, and, hunting rifles. But, again, this is a very touchy subject. And, I might get like or dislike. People might not like my channel anymore or anything like that. But I could use the views. I could use a little controversial topic discussion. And, this actually really works with that. Granted, granted, I know that these criminals and mentally ill people will find some way to get it, but this will slow the process down. And like I said about, crime really does not have an end, unfortunately. But we could slow it down. I think it's possible to slow criminal activity down. I think it's possible to do that because, yeah, I think it'd be possible to slow it down if we at least take away some of the means, Now, maybe, depending on the misdemeanor. Now, misdemeanors, anything can happen. You could be just jaywalking and get a misdemeanor for jaywalking. So, again, misdemeanors are, kind of a gray area. I think it depends on how many misdemeanors you have, how many times the police have came and visit you, you know. But it's like with the car too. I don't think if you have a lot of bad traffic records, then I don't think you should be on the road driving a car. But that's just this is only me talking about my personal beliefs, you know. But, you know, either way, it's like, either way, you gotta keep guns out of criminals. If anything, it's fine if you're a civilian trying to protect yourself and stuff like that, you know. If you're trying to protect yourself, that's, you know, that's pretty cool, you know, you gotta protect yourself. But, you know, I think there should be rules and regulations and stuff like that. To be quite honest, I think there should be an applied license to actually fill out, to apply for, you know, to apply to be able to own a gun. You know, I think the criteria has to be, as long as you're either trying to protect yourself, or maybe you're a gun collector, or something like that. And I know in the gun shows they have the military issued rifles. I understand, but I don't think those should be legal to sell. But but if you're a collector, you know, or civilian, I think regular, you know, handguns, shotguns, and hunting rifles are all right, as long as you're trying to protect yourself or you're a collector. But I don't think it should be anyone's business what it's for, to be quite honest, to be, you know. But I think, you know, it should be put on the license test before owning it. I think people should have a license. I think my type of gun control is, the license criteria needs to be a lot harder and difficult to get it. That way we keep guns out of nutcases, and we keep guns out of, you know, felons, because they don't need it. Okay, they don't need it. Now, I know arguably it could be say the same thing for knives or anything else, but guns are more lethal than knives and swords and anything else. You could dodge a sword and run from a sword. You really can't dodge a bunch of open fire, you know. But I think they should just be trying to, you know, make it harder, so only civilians and the good people and, you know, collectors that don't take it out of the house, you know, are the only ones able to own guns. But this is a very controversial subject. You know, I just wanted to talk about this and tell you a little bit of my beliefs. I know I said I was going to stay out of the political ring, and somewhat I am. I just feel like I could use the views, and I'm just going to be quite honest. I'm doing this for the views. I'm talking about this for the views. I'm going to be 100% realistic. And, you know, at this point, my reputation is so bad. At this point, what could a little controversy really do to me? I mean, I really got nothing to lose. So I feel like I have to talk about a subject that might be triggering. Now, again, like I said, I think my personal views about gun control, as long as you're not mentally unstable and your therapist does not put that label on the computer, on the research thing, you know, that they look up, as long as you don't have a felon, and it depends on the kind of misdemeanors you have, or how many you have, or what the misdemeanors are, and what the situation is, you know. And the only guns that any civilians can really, or realistically should own, are hunting rifles, shotguns, and handguns. Only those stuff you see on the daily, you know. Military ones should be way off limits. Now, I get there's people in the military fought wars and they kept some of their stuff. You know, which, again, that's kind of a gray area. I can't get into that because that's a gray area. I think if a person in the military has extreme PTSD, then unfortunately, yeah, you should take the guns out of those military personnel if they have like extreme amounts of PTSD. But if they like get therapy and they're fine, and, you know, they just keep it in the glass case, you know, and, you know, as part of what they used to do when they're in combat, then I guess it's okay. Again, that's a very gray area topic, because I feel two different opinions in my head, because it's a subject that's a very gray area. You know, it's not a black and white subject like I covered before, you know. So that's what I personally think about gun control. So may the crystal be with you. You know, again, sorry for pushing, you know, some politics. I'm just, you know, I need to use the views, and, you know, I think some of these people like when I tackle very controversial stuff. Of course, this is not a political channel, this is a gaming channel, but these are just my thoughts on a particular subject, because I think it's important to say what we actually believe, what we actually think about a subject or not. So may the crystal be with you, and if you still support me, then that's cool. If you don't, I understand. I understand if you hit the unsub button or give the mass dislike. I understand, because this is a very touchy subject. I didn't want to even cover it originally. I was thinking how bad of an idea it is to cover that subject, so I was, you know, it was one of those that I had to actually think something through, and I have. So may the crystal be with you.